The World Cup 2003 returned after the conventional gap of 4 years. It was the first and to the date, the only World Cup played on the African continent. South Africa, Zimbabwe and Kenya were the co-hosts with all three main knockout games played in South Africa. And in between all the drama of the biggest ICC event, there was a player whose contribution made everyone believe that his side may win the cup. Hello viewers, welcome to Stumps and Bails. This is your host Vineet Vashisht, and in this video we will talk about that player and the winner of the World Cup 2003. This World Cup set a new record in terms of the total number of teams participating, that was 14. It followed the format of the previous World Cup in 1999 of the league stage and Super 6. This time around there were two groups of 7 teams each. As the team count widened, it was expected that the minors will have a difficult time in the addition. On the contrary, there were several upsets that become the theme of the World Cup. Teams like Pakistan, England, West Indies and host South Africa failed to move on to the next round. Kenya became the first non-test playing nation to make it to the semi-finals. Zimbabwe, who didn't have their strongest of days, yet managed to move into the Super Sixes. Countries like England and New Zealand forfeited their games in Zimbabwe and Kenya respectively. Australia continued its dominance. The 2003 World Cup, in all fairness, was a two-horse race. Once South Africa was eliminated, it became evident that either India or Australia will lift the World Cup. None of the other sides in the Super 6 gave the impression of being a force in the knockouts. India lost just 2 games in the entire World Cup, and both those losses came against Australia, the eventual champions. The Australian team won the World Cup without dropping a single game. They were deserving winners of the World Cup. Australia became the first side to win the World Cup 3 times. Now let's talk about that player. That was Sachin Tendulkar. It was the 4th edition of the World Cup for the Master Blaster. The 1983 World Cup inspired Sachin Tendulkar to play the sport and aspire to win the title one day. India didn't have the best preparation leading into the World Cup. On the most difficult of wickets in New Zealand, India lost the 7-match ODI series 2-5. They posted just 204 in the first game against Netherlands before losing to Australia in the second. Indian fans showed their frustration through stone pelting. Tendulkar, even in these 2 games, was the leading run scorer. India's turnaround and Tendulkar's role. Tendulkar fashioned India's subsequent 4 wins in the league stage. Starting with the game against Zimbabwe, he got starts in every game. He scored his only century of the edition in the game against Namibia, but India's main 2 games were the remaining ones against England and Pakistan. Tendulkar went on the offensive in both games early on his innings. He got out scoring a 50 against England but had a set of stage for an Indian win. It was his knock against Pakistan, though, that remains the knock of the 2003 World Cup. Chasing a tough total of 274 against world-class Pakistani attack, Tendulkar smashed 98 of just 75 deliveries. India maintained their clean slate against Pakistan in the 4th consecutive ODI World Cup. The hurtful loss in the finals. Tendulkar made another decisive contribution in the game against Sri Lanka, scoring 97. He made 83 in the semis against Kenya, but his dazzling knocks took a backseat in the business end of the tournament. Tendulkar was dismissed for 4 in the World Cup final, which saw Australia hammer India to a big win. He finished the World Cup with a tally of 673 runs at an average of 61.18. It was a 20-year unbeaten record in the World Cups. Tendulkar was declared the player of the World Cup before the final even commenced. Thanks for watching this video, and if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to Stumps and Bails YouTube channel, and also don't forget to follow all our social media handles as well. That's all for today's segment. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.